Gunshine. Can't go too far. Who's here?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. It is Thankful Thursday, and I am so grateful to be here and have the opportunity to connect with each and every one of you. I'm excited by what you might bring to this space today as Brian and I share our thoughts on the power of gratitude. I'm just as interested in hearing your thoughts. And while we're sharing, I want to invite you all to share the live. Invite somebody in who you believe would benefit from the time that we spend together. Let's keep growing our footprint. Let's keep expanding our territory so that we can spread this positivity, this inspiration, these actionable steps that can actually empower you to change your life, to move towards the life that you desire. It's one thing to hear it, but it all comes in the implementation. And the time that we spend together is where you can really do some thinking and be thoughtful about what the implementation is that you need to do. What is it that you want to do? What do you want to see differently in your life? That's what this space is all about, and encouraging you to do so, helping you believe in the fact that you can and that you deserve the life that you desire. And we always end with some actionable steps that's going to help you along the way. So my encouragement to everyone is always the same. Take what resonates with you, incorporate that into your life, and set the rest aside. Maybe it wasn't for you. Maybe it was for someone else. So I don't expect that I've got a blueprint that is going to be a step-by-step ordered guide for exactly how you should live your life. But what I do have is some transparency and some openness about what's worked for me. And I'm more than happy to share that, as well as what didn't work for me and why I think that is. Because in doing so, it opens up thinking and conversation for you to figure out what's happening with you, what's going on in your life, what would you like to see different, and what could you do to start to create that different existence that you dream about. That's what this space is all about. On Thursdays, we specifically focus in on gratitude. Gratitude is a word that is a verb as well as a noun. It can be an adjective. It is one of those words that can be applied to our lives in many different ways. And the more we use it, the more we apply it, the more levels of our lives we allow it to penetrate, the more enjoyable our lives are, the more positive we're able to move through this world. We are seeking and appreciating the abundance in our lives when we're operating from a place of gratitude. And when we appreciate that abundance, when we focus on that abundance, we will attract more of that to us. So that's why we spend time talking about it. Where the mind goes, where the focus goes, the energy flows. So, what you're focused on, what you keep front of mind, what you believe is important to you, what it is that you see, you're going to attract more of that into your life. And gratitude is a powerful tool to help you be in control of what you see, of what you focus on, of what you attract into your life. How so? Because when you're grateful, you can't help but to see what you have. When you're not operating from a place of gratitude, you may very well see only the things that you don't have, the things that are not working, the things that you don't want. And when you're operating from that space, you're only going to see more of those things. It's pretty much all you're able to see. Even when something good happens, even when there's a positive occurrence, through the lens that you're watching it from, you may very well still not see the goodness in it. But oh, if you pick up the lens of gratitude, if you decide to turn up the volume on gratitude and focus on the opposite, the things that I do have, the things that I enjoy in life, the things that are going well, when you shift your focus to those things, you give yourself the opportunity to have more of those things. It's what you're going to see. It's what, even in a difficult situation, even when externally things are not going as you wish, you can lean into gratitude and change the attitude in which you're processing those things. And it'll help you stay grounded, stay centered, keep you from getting overwhelmed and frustrated. And when you're grounded, when you're centered, when you're focused on what goes well, then you're able to be more solution focused. You're able to be creative and think outside the box, to be innovative. That type of mindset will help you work through whatever it is that's causing you to be frustrated in the first place. But if you only focus on the thing that has you frustrated, you're not creative. You're overwhelmed. You're angry. You're upset. You have all these negative emotions, and those things don't foster creativity. They don't foster good thinking. They do just the opposite. It's hard to think at all, because now you're just operating from a place of emotion, a reactionary place. That centering helps you to see, this is not where I want to be. This is not how I would like for things to go. So what am I going to do about it? I'm going to start to focus on my solution, focus on my ability to change things, focus on the power that I have within me, focus on your vertical connection, your higher power. You put that focus on the things that feed you, the things that uplift you, the things that inspire you. Remember the things that you've already come through to this point. Everything in your history tells you that you're capable of moving past difficulties. But when you look at that history with gratitude and remember how far you've come, when you do that, that helps you to recall just how resilient you are, just how capable you are. And that helps you to move forward and not be stuck and overwhelmed by whatever is happening in the moment. Every moment passes, regardless of what's in it, good, bad, or indifferent. It passes, and it passes quickly. So we make the most of every moment. We don't pretend. I'm not going to go through life and pretend like difficulties never happen, that there are never obstacles. No, I acknowledge them when they come. I also acknowledge my feelings. But what I don't want to do is become overwhelmed and controlled by those feelings. I'm not feeling my best right now because I really wasn't prepared for this. This isn't how I expected things to unfold. But I know I'll get through it. I've gotten through everything that's come up this far. I'll get through this too. I'm grateful for the lessons that I've learned up to this point, because every experience that I've had is going to help me to have what I need and to take the necessary actions to be successful, to move forward, to overcome this thing, whatever it is. And we talk ourselves up. We remind ourselves of our capabilities. We tell ourselves that we deserve better. We have to believe it. We have to believe that I deserve better. I was created on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose, and I'm going to move forward in purpose. There's a reason that I'm here, and it's not this. It's not to wallow in these bad situations. It's not to be swept up and controlled by the difficulties in life. I have a purpose, and as I come through those difficulties, I'm getting stronger and stronger. I'm building up my resilience. I'm building up my ability to overcome. I'm building up my self-confidence. And I'm going to take all of that and pour it into ... you fill in the blank. I'm going to pour it into whatever it is that you're working to accomplish with your life. The difficulties don't keep you from the things that you deserve. They prepare you for those things. They give you the strength. They give you the resilience. They give you the, yes, I can. I know I can, because you have. You've overcome before. You've been through things before. You've survived before, right? You've thrived. And in doing that, you've built up the muscle for whatever is standing in front of you right now. You just have to decide not to be overcome by that obstacle. I know I can get through it. I know I can climb over it. I know I can get around it. I know I can go under it. Whatever it is that I need to do to get to the other side, I'm capable of doing it. This is not the first mountain I've faced. I have the tools. I'm wearing the right shoes. I have my backpack. I have my water. The nails are trimmed. I can grab hold and I can start to scale this mountain, right? We all face mountains. Every day there's something that's going to crop up. And then there's those times in life where those big, earth-shattering, life-changing obstacles come. All those little mountains that you've climbed leading up to that point are the very thing that's equipped you to scale that big mountain. Nothing is for nothing. Every experience that you've had has found its way into your development, has participated in your evolution, and has prepared you to be who it is that you are right now. If you take away the difficulties that you faced up until this point and you rewrite your story with only the good times, the same person wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be who you are today, right? And it's often those most difficult periods that shape us and prepare us the most. I was prepared to be an adult and to go off to college and start my life by the passing of the most important person in my life, my grandmother. I wouldn't have been able to leave with the state that she was in. She was really sick and suffering, and I wanted her to live forever. I did not want her to go. The little girl in me wanted her grandma to stay. I still miss her. I'll never not miss her. But when I look back on it and I think, wow, I was already starting to think I need to apply to a school closer to home. I need to go ahead and do this, do that, so I can be near. And I would have gladly done those things if that would have given her more time or given me more time with her. But my life would be so different, right? I wouldn't have the children that I have because I wouldn't have met their dad, right? I wouldn't have the job that I have because I would have gone through a different education system and met different people and had different opportunities. I don't necessarily know if my life would have been better, worse, good, bad, doesn't matter. But I do know it would have been different. And the things that I enjoy now, the life that I've created with my family, would be different because the circumstances of how my life unfolded would have been different. So now when I think back on that time, which before was something that was pressed down so deeply that I never even thought about it. I didn't allow myself to go there because it was too painful. When I look back at it now, I look back at it with gratitude to her for doing all that she did and sacrificing that period of her life to raise 2 grandchildren. She didn't have to do that, but she created a safe home for me and my sister, and I'm forever grateful. And I'm grateful to the Creator for putting her out of her suffering and setting me on a path that charged and helped create the rest of my life to this point. I wasn't intended. It wasn't my calling. It wasn't my purpose to be there. I had already felt years before that I was supposed to be in Austin. Didn't think so much about the city itself, but that particular school. I knew that's where I wanted to go when I went to college. I'd never been there. I didn't know anybody who had been there. The only thing I probably knew about it was the athletics, their football team. I was a Texas Longhorn fan. That's the only thing I can think of that the young me knew about that place. But for some reason, I had such a draw that was where I was supposed to go to college, that it was the only place I even applied. My counselor thought I was crazy. She was like, no, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Apply to some other places. Apply to some smaller places. We're from a really small town. That's a big school. You know, you're used to small classes with just a handful of people. My entire graduating class only had 30 people in it. My entire city would fit in one side of the dorm that I moved into. So you can imagine the wide eyes, the self-doubt, the fear, the overwhelm, the, oh my gosh, what have I done? I don't know anybody. what am I doing here? And I'm so grateful for that time. It was not easy. I was in super mourning and I don't remember a lot of it. I run into friends that I made along the way and they want to recount things that we did in college and talk about it. I don't really remember. I can smile and I can laugh with them and listen to them recount the stories, but I don't really remember because I was a shell when I came to college. And people talk about, oh, you were so nice, you were so upbeat, you were so caring of everybody. We just loved being around you. You were just always this happy, bubbly. And I'm thinking to myself, they have no idea. They have no idea. I had just lost the most important person in my life a few months earlier. And I'd come to a place where I knew absolutely nobody. And I was just doing the best I could to put one foot in front of the other every day. I'm so grateful that God showed them more than what I was actually experiencing. I'm so glad that I was able to show up in a way that I did create my best friend from my first roommate from college. We've been friends now 30 plus years. We've got a date next week to go see Frozen. She lives 15 minutes from me now because after she went off and had her career and worked in the DC area for years, she was committed to coming back to Texas. And when she brought her family back to Texas, she made a decision to build her home and to live near us. So there's a handful of us college friends that met that very first day, that very first week, that are still friends. How grateful am I that my grandmother was able to rest and I was able to start the adult version of my life. It's like, how could you be grateful that your grandma died? I'm not grateful that she died, but I am absolutely grateful that she stopped the suffering. I was in the room. Me and my sister heard her before she went to the hospital and was in ICU and all the stuff that devolved as her body was transitioning. Well before that, she suffered. And we would hear her moaning out in pain late at night, in the early hours of the morning. And then she would get up and she would do her best to live for us, right? To make sure we had what we needed. It was a very traumatizing time well before she died. Yet when I look at it now, there's so much gratitude. I'm so grateful. I know what sacrifice looks like. I know what love looks like. I know what strength and perseverance looks like. I know what surrender looks like when it's time and you have nothing left and it's time to let others take over and do. I got to see all of that. I know what spirituality looks like, not religion, but a connection and a love and a dependency on God. I got to see that every day, right up until that last breath. I got to see that. So how can I not be grateful? Does it tug at the heart a little bit? Absolutely. Because I'd love to give her a hug. I'd love for her to see, look what you did. Look what you did. You sacrificed what should have been retirement, relaxing on the porch, sipping your coffee years. You were raising kids. But look what you did. What you poured into me has culminated into something. I'm a good person. I'm a hard worker. I've created a great life. You've got beautiful grandchildren and great-grandchildren, right? Those things happened because she sacrificed and she gave. And she put some of that spirit in me. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for my kids and the people that are important to me. I learned that from my grandmother. She was a giver, not a taker. There's a lot of takers around us, but she taught me to give and to give with love. It was just wonderful. And so I can look at what used to be seen as the most horrific time in my life. And I can look at it with joy and appreciation. And I can see how it played this linear position in my life when I needed to be cared for and reared and nourished. She was there and she did that. As I was becoming an adult and I needed more space to figure some things out, she was there seeing me through those crazy teenage years. those earlier teenage years, because she left right before I turned 18, so I was only 17. And then when it was time for me to really leave the nest and fly, right? It's all, I can see the thread. I can see her hands, her love, her contribution to all of it. And I still see it because the way I am today has so much to do with the way she was and what she poured in. And so that's how we can use gratitude, even in our darkest situations. I may not have been thinking all of that right in the as I was going through the trauma. I wasn't thinking that. But I think I said this to you guys recently. I remember right before her service, the day before, they brought the family in after the funeral home had done their thing and they had prepared her. I saw her for the first time and it looked like she had a slight smile on her face. And I hadn't seen that in so long because she had been in so much pain. And immediately I got some relief. And I was so grateful that she wasn't hurting anymore. So even in that moment, it took away a little bit of the overwhelming grief that I was experiencing because I saw her relief and that gave me relief. So I wasn't all into mindset at 17 and I didn't have a lot of the experiences or the skills that I have now, but I did have vision and I saw relief. And that gave me, I was grateful for that, even at 17. So see that there's quite a few of you here and you guys are leaving comments. Dr. Tanya, welcome, welcome, welcome. She says good morning. Lisa says good morning. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Hey, Lisa, I'm so happy that I know what you look like now. We had a great time yesterday. Sonia says good morning, family. Sonia, I can't wait for you to join us. We had our meet and greet of the SOAR Collective last night. It was amazing. Kim says good morning, everyone. It was good to see you. And Alicia also says good morning. The SOAR Collective is showing up this morning. Y'all didn't get enough of me last night. I'm so happy that y'all are here. Nelva says good morning, sunshine. Nelva is also a member of the collective that I was telling y'all about. She wasn't able to join us last night, but Nelva, you should go into the group and create a little hello video or something so everybody can see you and get to know you. Just a couple words. Hey, I'm Nelva from Texas. Whatever it is you want to say, because everybody wants to see your beautiful face also. Lisa says, thank you, Cassandra, for the link. Great message to start my day. You are welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for being here. Let's see, did I miss anyone else? Trina. Hello, I miss you. It's good to see you. I'm out of town again this weekend, so it's going to be another week, but hopefully I'll see you soon. Mr. Carter, Morris Carter. You're going to have to tell me, send me a message as to, do I need to call you Morris Carter or can I call you by what we grew up calling you? Because the only reason I'm even able to say Morris Carter is because I can see it. Otherwise, what will come out. So let me know how I need to address you in this social space, sir. So welcome, everyone. I am glad that you are all here. As you can tell, I am having a wonderful morning full of joy, and it's on purpose. I woke up this morning and I started my day with my gratitude. I thanked my creator for the abundance in my life and the things that that immediately came to mind this morning. And it just puts me in the right space to show up and to show up well for you guys. So our quote for today is a simple one, but it says a lot in a very few words, something I'm not very good at doing. I use lots of words, right? Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Not sure who said it, but profound. It turns what we have into enough. Well, what does that mean? When you're focused on your abundance, when you are focused on what you have, all of a sudden your perspective is changing, and the things that you have, you're so grateful for, the angst of the things that you don't have starts to fall away. You have enough in that moment, right? And as you are grateful for that, you start to see more of what you have and more of what you have. And you kind of train your brain to see the world that way, right? I can stub my toe and go, oh, that hurts so bad, but I still have a toe. I'm glad I can still feel and keep moving. And then you don't get so angry, so frustrated, so overwhelmed. You can train your brain to think the way that you needed to think in order for you to have the life that you desire. Did I pretend like I didn't stub my toe? Nope. Did I pretend like it didn't hurt? Acknowledge all of that. But quickly, I also shifted my thinking to something positive so that I didn't get overwhelmed and so frustrated that the entire day is going to be driven by the fact that I stubbed my toe this morning. We do it all the time. One bad conversation with the husband, and the whole day just is off center and doesn't go so well because that conversation's playing over and over again in my head. And I wish I'd said that. And how dare he say that? And what was he thinking about? And it just spirals all day long. And we allow one bad moment, to be the focus of the rest of our day. So what if we do the opposite? What if we take one good moment and we allow that to be the focus of our day? And our brains are spinning around that. Same concept. We just shifted the focus a little bit, right? Even I'm not any less upset about the conversation, but I'm getting myself better prepared to have the conversation that needs to be had to get things back on track. That's what gratitude will do for you. It'll help you to settle the emotions, help you recenter, and help you get to how do I solve this? How do I get through this? What's the next best thing for me to do? As long as I'm spinning on the argument, I'm just spinning. I'm getting madder. I'm probably not being very, very nice to the people who encounter me, who have absolutely nothing to do with what's going on. I'm short with them. They're good morning. Yeah, whatever. I'm showing up as a completely different person because I'm focused on that one moment, right? He has really gotten on my last nerves. I cannot believe that that's what he said to me. Is that really what he's contributing to my day? I can have all of those thoughts and all of those emotions, and they're valid. Just don't leave them hanging like that. But you know what? It's a new day. And I'm going to go and make the most of it. I'm going to deal with this when I get home, and I'm in a better headspace. And the rest of my day, I'm focusing on getting in that better headspace. I didn't pretend it didn't happen. I didn't pretend that I'm not having the feelings that I'm having, but I'm letting it know, and I'm reminding myself that my life is bigger and more important than that one moment. So I'm not going to let it be in control all day long. I'm going to reset myself right then, right there, so that as I encounter the rest of my day and I go through and interact with people and I have opportunities that come and things that I need to do, they're not all marred by that one moment. We have that level of control. What we give our attention to, what we give our focus to, what we allow to be in control is absolutely up to us. And sometimes we don't realize that we have that control. That's why we talk about it here. If you're spinning and you're angry and you're frustrated, that's a decision that you're making. It's a reaction to something that has happened that has gotten you in that state. But the decision to remain in that state belongs to you. You may not have been able to help yourself getting there because we have automatic responses, right? We respond to things, and sometimes we don't respond, we react. We react to something. But as soon as we've done it, it didn't feel good. So don't just leave it hanging out there. Have a different conversation with yourself and shift so that you can have a better experience. Enjoy your day more. Not allow that one moment to penetrate all the moments that are coming after it. That's the charge. That's what we want to get to. We may not be able to control that moment because there's another person in it. And we can't change anybody but ourselves. So people are going to people. Life is going to life. But how you react to it is your responsibility. And the consequences of those reactions they belong to you. So we're just talking about taking control and using gratitude as one of the ways that we can reset and take that control. All right, Brian, as always, I have said quite a bit. I miss your face too, Trina. So over to you, Brian. I'd love to hear what you'd like to share this morning, and then we're going to wrap up with those actionable steps.
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet today.
All right, we need a little bit more volume from you.
How about that? Is that better?
It's a little better. You're pretty faint, but it's better than it was.
All right, we'll keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
Taking the day, right to everyone. You started off saying something about moving in purpose. My mom used to say moving on purpose. In your purpose. My mom used to say that all the time. Moving on purpose, in your purpose. All the time. And it got me to thinking about the quote, and that got me thinking about one thing. And that one thing is, when you focus on what you have, you always have more. And when you focus on what you don't have, you'll never have enough.
Mm-hmm.
That stuck with me. It's been with me my entire life, right? And this quote today reaffirmed that thing that my mom used to talk about all the time. Be grateful for what you have. Just be grateful for what you have. And I'm saying this saying is reverberated dozens, if not hundreds of times, right? In different ways. What do they say?
Mm-hmm.
A bird in the hand is worth two.
That's right.
Right? Stop focusing on all of that stuff that you don't have. When you get that stuff, a lot of the time you realize you don't even want that stuff. It's not the stuff that matters. It's the emotions that you're looking for from the stuff. And this is the beauty of gratitude. When you're grateful, you have those emotions with you all the time. So the stuff doesn't determine how you feel. How you feel determines whether or not you want the stuff. Stop looking at what's not in your hand. It's not there. Who cares? What do you have to be grateful for today? And it's not physical. That's not the stuff that's gonna make you happy. It's that thing deep down inside that gets you up in the morning, that makes you say, hey, thank you. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for everything I'm encountering. The good, the bad. Listen, we put these titles as earthlings on these things, good and bad. That's not how the creator sees this. The creator moves in definiteness, and it's not good, bad. It's just what is to be accomplished. When you know that, everything else changes. Everything becomes a moment. Every moment becomes a moment of gratitude. And I leave it at that. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Brian. When you focus on what you have more. When you focus on what you don't have, you never have enough. Woo, that's a collection plate passing sermon right there. That's it in a nutshell, because you're going to attract more of what you focus on. So if you're focusing on the things you have, you're going to see more and more and more of that abundance. If you focus on lack, that's exactly what you're going to experience. Not enough, never enough, right? We do that not just in things, but even in how we move through the world. As soon as we finish one thing, we don't even bother to stop and acknowledge our accomplishments. We're already on to the next thing. Okay, I got that done. Now I need to do this. On and on and on and on. Stop and be grateful. Acknowledge what you've done. It builds your reassurance, your self-confidence, your resilience. It gives you that extra jolt to keep moving forward. Gratitude is a powerful tool, and we want to talk about how we go about building up our gratitude. I want to see the comments are coming through from Nelva. She said, I will do. So collective, we can expect that we're going to see a video from Miss Nelva introducing herself. And she says, praise through your emotions helps me. Right. When you think about praise, right, you think about just the word gives you visions of joy, right? Of overwhelming gratitude. I'm so grateful for it may just be my life, the fact that I'm still here, but I'm so grateful for it that it's pouring out of me. That praise is gratitude personified. You can't praise from a place of ungratefulness. The two will not coexist because I'm grateful. Even in this overwhelming moment of difficulty, I'm grateful that I have someone to praise. I'm grateful that I have my life, my ability to praise, right? And it pours out of us. Praise is gratitude personified. She said also, emotions come through and go, but continue to praise and be thankful. Exactly. And we're never going to beat ourselves up for our emotions. We honor them. We're all wired a little bit differently. We mature and grow over time. And sometimes we get a better handle on our emotions so we don't have those immediate reactions. But your emotions are your signal lights. They are getting your attention to tell you something's off. Something's not going well for you. Now, the question is, how are you going to have, now that you have that awareness, are you going to devolve into an emotional storm, or are you going to notice that something needs to be different and get busy creating that difference? But our emotions are very, very important. I hate to see people pressing their emotions down, or us teaching our children, be a big girl, don't cry. Big girls don't cry. Boys don't cry. That we would not have been created with those emotions if they did not serve a purpose. And some of the scariest people in the world are people who do not know how to manage or even recognize their emotions. They work so hard to push that stuff down that they're walking time bombs. And your hello could be the very thing that tips them over. They didn't like the way you looked at them. And now you're in an altercation with somebody and all you did was say hello. It's dangerous not to acknowledge our emotions. They are there for a reason. Listen to them, honor them, and then do what you need to do to get them back in pocket, right? Because they're just trying to say, hey, something's not right here. I need you to pay attention. You feel that burning in your tummy? You feel that tightness in your chest? Those are signals. No, you're not having a heart attack. You're upset. What's going on? Why are you upset? Start to peel back those layers and figure out what's going on so that you learn better coping skills, better communication skills, better self-management. That's emotional intelligence. That's growing, and it allows us to deal with whatever's coming our way so much better. So how do we start to build our gratitude practice? And I say practice. If you've ever been in a sport, if you've ever recited something, if you've ever played an instrument, if you've ever decided that you were going to do anything that you were going to share with the world, what did it take? Practice. You had to do it over and over and over again to build up that skill to become proficient. Guys, our mental capacity, our emotional capacity, those are skills that have to be practiced as well. Gratitude is known as a practice. You'll hear people talk about it that way all the time, because in practicing it, you start to reap the benefits of it, and it becomes a part of your makeup. So start with your morning gratitude list. You heard me talk about that. That's how I start my day. It's how I get my smile. It's how I get my morning glow, that internal emotional morning glow, ready to connect with people and do what it is I need to do. Every night's not a good night. Every sleep's not good and sound and restorative, but I can still start my day fresh and ready to go, because the first thing I do is list 3 things that I'm grateful for. It's the first part of my gratitude sandwich. That's that first slice, my morning gratitude list. Get that practice. Try it. Try it. The worst thing that can happen is that nothing happens. Nothing's changed. You're no different than you were. But give it a shot. See what happens. As you go through your day, stump the toe. Whatever stumping the toe is a metaphor for you. When something bad happens, something doesn't go the way you intended, stop and try and think about something that you're grateful for in that situation and see if it doesn't calm and center and allow you to start to think so that you can manage that situation. Expressing gratitude to others is huge. Hearing yourself out loud, be grateful to another, or send a nice note, seeing yourself type it and send it out. It brings you to a place where you're thinking about, you're focused on what others have done that you admire or that have been impactful to you. It's another way of putting yourself in a place where you're thinking from a place of gratitude. And it's so strengthening of relationships. When you know that someone appreciates what you've done or how you showed up for them, man, it feels good. But it feels just as good to say the words, to give the gratitude. Gratitude is a gift. Gifts feel good when they're given. Doesn't do you can practice, it feels good to purchase the gifts for the holidays, for the birthday, for the whatever, but and plan it. But nothing feels as good as that moment when you pass it on to the person that you intended it for. Gratitude is a gift just like that. We can set gratitude reminders. Set them in your phone, 3 or 4 throughout your day, your uptime, starting with the beginning of your day. And just, give yourself a little reminder. You can say, what am I grateful for? And have that alarm go off and that flash across your phone. It'll reset you and it'll help you to start thinking in that moment, what am I grateful for? Change the rest of your day because you've changed your perspective. So use the technology to your advantage. Teach your kids to use technology to their advantage. It's for more than just channel surfing through a bunch of videos, right? Use it. Create those reminders for yourself so you stay in a place of gratitude. Gratitude reflection, and specifically in the evening, it's great because now that's the second part of that sandwich. Right? I started my morning with 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I'm ending my day with the gratitude, with reflecting on what I'm grateful for. So as I'm preparing to bed, I've shifted my thinking. It does help. You sleep a little bit better. That's permeating through you as you're sleeping. Because those are those last thoughts. If you don't believe that our thoughts permeate through us, watch a scary movie or something that really impacts you and then go to sleep. You feel like you're in the movie. I've had the TV playing as I was sleeping and actually saw myself in the movie as a character in the movie and it became my dream, right? Our thoughts and what we're hearing and how we're processing is very, very powerful. So reflect at the end of every day and then plan for your tomorrow. How am I going to show gratitude tomorrow? You're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to focus on the things that you're grateful for. But even as you're shutting down, what am I going to do? Maybe there's a coworker that's been having a tough time and they just need a kind word. Maybe you've got a family member you haven't reached out to in a while and you're going to check in on them. They will be grateful. You will be grateful. We raise the vibration and we create a place where good positive energy is flowing. We're deepening relationships. We're lightening the environments that we come into. Gratitude is powerful. And the more you have it on your mind, the more ways you look at it, the better off you will be. All right. So with that, those are the tips that I wanted to leave with you guys today. We're going to shut it down really quickly because I need to get into a meeting. But before we do, I definitely want to invite you all in to our vision board party that is coming up on June I keep saying July. Kim reminded me of that last night. It's June 22nd. So just in a couple of weeks, we will have our vision board party, Dream, Design, Deliver. We'll do a goal setting workshop and then create space for you all to actually produce your vision boards and have that visual representation of what you are working towards. So go to findyourvision.today, and you can register for the June 22nd, which is Saturday, vision board party, which is at 2 p.m. Central. Hope to see you guys there. That's going to bring us to a close for today's Thankful Thursday. Join us back here tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. Central for Focus Friday, where we will talk about the power of focus and accelerating your path towards creating the life that you desire. That's it for today. You guys have a great one.